There we go. Hello, everyone. I want to talk about our comp plan in a different way tonight, in a way that maybe you can use even with your prospects and that you're talking to, because we do have one of the simplest comp plans in the industry, and it pays out more than any other comparable plan ever in the history of networking. And I've given several trainings and comparative analyses on these things in the past, and we can dig up those if you want and look at them. But I'm going to kind of summarize it in a couple of points here for us. Our entire comp plan fits on one page. It's a building blocks concept. And so you sponsor one on the left and one on the right. You have infinity groups, and you get credit for anything that happens in that group. If you sponsored them, you didn't sponsor them, or whatever. Any purchases made with points, any kind of points generated from any source that the points are, and we now have multiple sources where points come from, or commission points. And in the US, a commission point is $1. Okay. So you get, 500 points coming up on each side. You'll get $500 check every week. And one side will bank. If you get one side that has more points than the other, then it will deduct on a 500 cycle 500 from your pay side and your bank side, but any points left over on the strongest side is going to roll over. Okay. Now you can only get paid on the ranks that you are. So if you're an associate, the maximum check you can get is 500, regardless of how many points are coming. If you're a copper, then you can get paid $1,000 maximum per week, but that's all you can get. That's your motivation to rank up. That's your motivation to learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques it takes to do this business. That's your motivation to help a partner on your left and a partner on your right to rank up and help them rank up. And y'all work together as a team. And then that way they make more money and you make more money. Because if you got the points coming up, you've got to rank up to get paid on those points. And so you don't depend on other people to do it for you. You do it with your team. And that's the great thing about it. Now, some people can accomplish a lot of things really fast. Don't ever compare yourself with someone else, because you will rob yourself of this opportunity because of the attitude that you'll develop. Always look at what you can do and what you've been provided. And always work on developing your skills, attitudes, and techniques. So I'm going to try and summarize this comp plan for you, a long-term and short-term and comparative. We all know in networking, and we've got 50 plus years experience in this industry. Well, more than that, actually almost 75. 1954 with Shackley. It was not Amway, by the way. It was Shackley. And when most people, nearly all people, can sponsor at least 2 people and find at least 2 people to partner with over long term. Okay. Actually, the number is 3.8. That's pretty cool for people doing networking for more than 2 years. Consistently, they can. That's the average, and I hadn't found that 0.8 person yet. But but the whole key is you only need two partners, and with our comp plan, if you've got a business family pack, you already got your 2 partners. And I teach people that, hey, look, just hang around the flagpole, like old Richard Wayne says, and our mentor, Jim Rohn, had already always preached and everything that he taught about being your own boss, being an entrepreneur, and working in the networking space. hang around the flagpole, you will, through the process of osmosis, it will rub off on you. And if you're with the right company at the right place in the right market and right timing, and you couldn't be at a better place. I mean, gold and silver is promoted for us every single day by every outlet in the world, and even by the old staid gold and silver market trying to increase their little bitty tiny profit that they make, or some of them rip off profit that they've made in the past for people who don't know. But we're in a great business of educating people what they have not been taught all their lives. Now, I've been in gold and silver for over 40 years now, and it's the only thing that's never lost me any money. And I've always accumulated more and gained more with gold and silver. And so will you. And what you're teaching, you're a force for good. And you can develop an extra streaming income and accumulate wealth at the same time and develop a residual income in the process for the rest of your life, because you're with a company that is now proven. It's got a solid foundation. 5 years, it's a leader in the industry, and people around the world scammering to do business with 7K, especially in the precious metals field and the numismatic field. And the technology this company is bringing to fore is going to make it that multi-billion-dollar network giant. And as many of you may have heard from me in the past, well, about 3 years ago, I told Richard Wayne Hansen, 7K is going to be to the precious metals world and the numismatic world as Amazon was to the retail world. Everybody laughed at Amazon in the very beginning. And they said, we're going to sell books online. We're not going to make a profit, but then, you know, we're going to change the retail market. And I even laughed. Last was on them. They put Sears out of business. They put Montgomery Ward's out of business. They put Kmart out of business. They almost put Walmart out of business. And many of the other storefronts are going out of business. It's just the 22nd century way of doing business. And that's what 7K is doing. You know, the precious metals market has been around for decades and decades and decades. And we all know the story, and I'm not, you know, the governments, the banks, the super wealthy own all the gold and silver, and the majority of it. But that's changed. And then the numismatic market has been a evolving market, and we just happen to time it perfectly, because, you know, Miles Standish and his crew were changing that numismatic world into these highly desirable collectible design, going like art, and we just hit that marketplace right at the right time, right when it's going through its evolutionary phase of change, from the old, you know, what date it is and what kind of, it is still conditioned, but it's not the coins that we use for currency exchange. These are coins that you don't want to ever use for currency. These are the art, but affordable art for average everyday people. For the first time in history, they can really participate in this market. And we're showing it happens every day with Stack and Sell. And learn how to use Stack and Sell. Make sure you go through my training on Stack and Sell. And I'm going to do another one. I'm going to show a little bit of my update on mine tonight here. Now, so let's get to the big picture here. Okay, they're accumulating wealth by buying a product that's not a consumable, that doesn't have an expiration date. They're getting a product they know nothing about and do not understand, but we teach them as they're learning. So you're going to learn and earn and grow at the same time. Now, how much better can that get? And that goes right into the system that I taught and teach people, that If you want to succeed in this industry, you better be teaching people, your partner on your left and right, because you only need one, real one. That's all. And you'll grow together. Now, of course, to be a presidential, you got to have 14 sponsored on the left, 14 sponsored on the right, but you only need one executive goal on your left and one executive goal on your right, and a silver on your left and a silver on your right. So you want to be presidential, you're going to need two. Okay. You want to be executive, you need two, because you're going to need a gold and a bronze. Okay. But up to gold, all you need is one, all the way up to gold, and that's 7,000 a week. That's pretty cool. Okay. So let's get to summarize. First thing that you need to definitely make sure that you do is that you get your hands on the tools of our business, and that you're familiar with them, and you know where they're at, and you can show people them. And so what you want to have, I've shared the wrong screen again, as usual. There it is. And let's see if I can't find our PDF. No, it's not there. There we go. I have no idea what is wrong with this thing tonight. Well, here we go. Here's our one-page share plan. Okay. And our one-page share plan will say exactly what we need. One on left, one on the right. And then you're going to get all the points left and right that's coming up. What are you buying? You're buying a product that has points, either 15 points or 20 points. And the points that I recommend is the one that you buy, the 20-point coin. So I'm going to talk, for illustration purposes and easy math, the 20-point coin. Now I know this is not the up-to-date one that I have, that is in there in the plan, but I'm going to try and put it back up here where it belongs. There we go. And see if I can't get, there we go. This is the detail plan. And so the detail plan, well, it used to be the detail plan. Okay. Well, the detailed plan is a 4-page plan. Let me try and find our plan again somewhere. Everything's getting mixed up. The detailed plan's a 4-page plan that is written in words, and I want you to learn those words because it'll tell you that the computer will cycle at every 500 points. Now, you may not earn a check if it cycles at 500 points, but we teach you not to let that happen, because you can get a business family pack and get your check, and your business family pack doesn't cost you anything. Okay. So you at least do that. Okay. So and that's if you have no sponsored on the left and no sponsored on the right, but you end up having 500 points or more on both sides. Okay. But one side's going to only have about 500. The other side's going to have more in that case. And so you don't want it to cycle and get no points. If it cycles, then it deducts the 500 points because you're not qualified to earn a check. You don't have one on the left and one on the right. But if you have one on the left, one on the right that's active, they're buying that coin, they're active, or they just joined, that makes them 30 days active if they just joined. They don't have to join and buy a coin. They're active for 30 days. So that's very, very important. When you renew, you're active for 30 days. Okay, that's very important. So learn these nuances about this program. Then how do you become a copper? Well, you do enroll another person personally on your left and right, and then you help one of those two become an associate like you were. So then you have an associate on your left and associate on your right that you personally sponsored. So one of these two become an associate. The other is just an individual, unranked. If they're ranked, that's fine. But if they need to have at least one associate. So you become a copper by adding new members to the program and then teaching them to become what you already know how to do. So it's a building block problem. So if I want you to get one thing straight, it's a building blocks. Don't have to learn what it takes to be an executive. Just learn what you need to achieve next. Okay, then you need to have a third to become a bronze, and one of those three need to be a copper on your left, and one of those three need to be a copper on your right. So you're teaching or helping your partner rank up like you ranked up, and you already know how to become a copper, so you're helping them do something you already know how to do. That's the whole point. And then that you just step up all the way to gold that same way. Now, when you get to executive gold, the only thing is that you do need the gold and the gold that you personally sponsored on each side. But you have to have one more of these 10 become a bronze also that you personally sponsored. So you have to have actually 2 partners on your left and right, not just one, okay? And the same thing with executive or presidential gold. Then you have that bronze, you rank up to silver, you help them rank up to silver. That gold, you help them rank up to executive gold, and then you become a presidential gold. And then we got our loyalty points and leadership points. Those are what we call in Louisiana lagniappe. This is the way you're going to earn free silver. Even with products you're purchasing, you get commission points and you get loyalty points. And if you are a copper and you've got 500, you got 850 points on one side and you got 5,000 points on the other, well, you don't have enough to get 2 500 cycle checks, okay, for the 1,000. You only have enough to get 1 500 cycle check, and then 350 points will either go to loyalty points because you are eligible to earn on those. Or if you got a leadership point, the computer, you don't even have to do anything about it. The computer will deduct that leadership and roll those 350 points over into your next week pay side. So if y'all understand that we work off of a 500 cycle, but the company has been now for more than 2 years, and they've extended into this year, and it may go on indefinitely, but it will be extended year to year or time period to time period. And that's a $250 check. Now that's very important for what I'm going to, kind of summarize here at the end. A $250 check means that people can earn it quicker. They don't have to wait until they get 500. So if they get 250 points on their pay side, their points with the least points on it, they'll get a 250 and they'll subtract. But let's say if they got 495 and 3,000, well, and they're an associate or they're a copper or they're a bronze, it doesn't matter what rank you are. If the points are less than 500, everybody gets treated the same way. And so if you got 495, you're going to subtract 250 from each side, and they're going to roll over into the commission. No other company has ever done this in the history of network marketing. You roll over commission points to the next week. And if it's 495 or let's say 450, make math easy for everybody, but it doesn't matter. I like 495 because 2 minus 250 from the 495 you got paid on, leaves you a balance of 245. That's going to roll over into the next week, and you don't have to have leadership points. But you're only 5 points away from another $250 check the next week. So you don't have to buy a coin to make you a $500 check. Let it roll over. Let that sucker roll over. Okay. And this is the beauty of this. You can get $250 checks. Now, all you have to do is have one on your left and one on your right, and buying your own coin, your points post to your pay side. So you're buying a 20-point coin every month, you're going to have 20 points posted over there. In a year, you got 240 points. In less than 2 years, you're going to make a $500 check. And I show people that, and you need to learn that. And so you're accumulating wealth, you're getting 1099 tax benefits, and learn what that means. If they're working on a job, their taxes are paying for all of this. And so that becomes a no-brainer. And so all we have to do is learn how to use the Courtney Ebb video properly, the wealth strategies in the Courtney Ebb video, learn to use those two things, and then sit down and talk or do a Zoom with them, and get somebody in your success group that is already earning, that can communicate these things. That's why you have teams. Now, with that said, I want to now go to the little chart that I show you all the time. If you got a family business back and you started out that way, then this is what it looks like. And you're building this center, not these two. You're building through them, and that's a great thing. And you'll learn that in the family business pack, if you're eligible, if you can do that, okay? Because they've got rules about who's in your family, what ages, and that kind of stuff. And we got to comply with those. And that's why I put it together the way I did. Most times we can do it. If you got an LLC or a company, or you got grown children or grown brothers or sisters outside of the same household. Well, once you start building this business, and you're going to get help on one side, no matter what, because you're placed on somebody else's side. And so your sponsor, has to place on that side too, because you can only place to the outside right, and you can only place to the outside left. That's the only, you cannot sponsor a person and put them right here. You can't do that. You can't sponsor a person and put them right here. Only that person can sponsor a person and put them right there. Okay. So then I'm going to tie in what I tell you, that my job description, that everybody needs 2 years. Now I'm going to tie this 5 people a day into this, so you understand the magnitude of this opportunity. And then I want you to watch a video. Your job for the first 2 years is watch one of my videos. Watch all the company videos that we tell you to, but watch one of my videos at least 5 out of 7 days a week. Because I got 7 videos that'll teach you this comp plan backward and forward, inside and out. But I'm going to teach you a lot more than just a comp plan. And so that's why I want you to watch for 2 years my video. You'll learn the skills, attitudes, and technique. And if you're doing the job description, so that's why it only takes 5 to 10 hours commitment out of you. But you've got to be doing exactly what I'm sharing with you. And you've got to get a commitment out of one person on your left and one person on the right, that they will do this with you. That has to be done right up front. If they're not serious. You need to keep looking until you find a person to make that commitment for 2 years. Buying the autosaver and learning how to do this business. Because, what's your choices? I mean, it takes 4 years to get a college education. I'm just trying to tell you, you can take 1 semester course for 2 years. And you can learn how to make more than a double 6-figure income. And that's opportunity. And so that's what you need to That's what you need to learn how to communicate to someone else. That's your job, to learn how to communicate just what I said to someone else. Okay, so let's get to the point where I'm talking about the comp plan. Remember these numbers: 5 people a day. That you're piquing people's interest. You're using a 1 or 2 line intro, and you're popping them the Wealth Strategies video, and you're sharing the Courtney Ebbs video. It's that simple. Okay, and then you follow up. I only ask you to learn one thing in following up. Number 1, that you follow up, and number 2, the only thing you ask them is you say, "Hey Jane, this is Bob. Hey, what did you like best about that video you saw?" Don't you ask them, did you look at it? What'd you think? Don't see the wrong skills. You ask only one question. Okay, and then if they start asking questions, you got a real prospect on your hand. And now learning how to handle that properly is what our job is. And you got a partner that can help you. Okay. Now, there's all kind of messages coming up in here to me, but it's okay. I'm going to pop over now and get out of this screen and get to my writing board here. And so let me get it out, see if I can make this thing work properly, so we can really get down to understanding this comp plan the way I want you to understand it. Okay. See, I think I got it preset with the things that we need here. Here we go. Put me down here in this corner. Somewhere around here, I'm supposed to have some tools, some writing tools. I guess they didn't load them up. One second, they're probably under here. Yeah, there they are. Got to put this at the top. Okay, get my pen. Let's see if we can't see a big picture now of this comp plan for even a prospect, that you don't have to go through step by step. Okay, both of us are going to be placed on, let's just say you're placed on somebody places you on the right side. So that means you're going to have help in this side from above. And they may sponsor people here, and you had nothing to do with any of this activity. That's why you'll end up with one side typically being stronger than the other. Sometimes it's this side, sometimes it's this side. We never know which side it's going to be, but you're always going to end up having one side a little stronger than the other. And yes, you want a 50-50 plan. You do not want one of those low paying 2/3, 1/3 plan with a concept that we have here, because it pays too low. That's the whole point. Your cycles, the checks are too low. Here we got a large cycle check and everybody can get to it. It's just a matter of time. Okay. Now, as you are building your business, remember I told you, you must have your own personal on this side, and we're going to put 1, and your own personal on this side. We're going to put 1 here. I should have put left 1 and right 1. Okay. Now they have a left and a right. Okay. Now, as this business grows, and it grows all kind of which ways in here, right? Every which way, all the way down, keeps growing, and this multiplies. And this is what you need to learn that you have. What you're looking for is the future. if you just got one, when your network here, even if you just sponsored one person, turns into 50 people buying that coin once a month, that's 20 points times 50. That's 1,000 points. And let's say you have 50 over here. Let's just do easy math. Times 20. That's 1,000 points coming up every month on each side. So that means you can make 2 $500 checks, or you can make 4 $250 checks. Okay. So whenever you get to an organization that you have 50, then those exponential numbers start working. If in the next month, these 50 people in this network only average one new member, that'd be 50 more people. Now you have 100 people in this network. And now 100 times 2,000 points, times 20 is 2,000 points. Divide that by 4, that's an average of 500 coming up every week. Now, this is kind of how my business grew and how a lot of people's grew. How fast it grows, it doesn't matter. What you want to look at is how your network is growing. And so let's move out to, if it took you 5 years and you had 1,000 people on this group over here, because it goes to infinity. And who knows, you may never sponsor that person that becomes a gold, but somebody may sponsor a person that becomes a silver, a bronze. You may not even know them. And when you have 1,000 people in this network on each side buying that 20-point coin, that's 20,000 points, y'all. I want to show you the big picture here. Divide that by 4, that's 5,000 points coming up every week. So it's incumbent upon you now to become a gold. Because if you're a silver, meaning you've only sponsored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of like Colleen Lee. Colleen Lee's been a silver for a long time. Now she's working on gold, but she makes her 3,500 every week. So does Diane. There's a lot of people that make their 3,500 every week, and they got more points than they get paid on. But I'm sure they're crying all the way to the bank because they never made, Colleen never made that kind of money in her entire life. And many other people are in that same boat right now. And thousands of you will be in that boat years from now. If you follow the system, do it if you're willing to learn how, and keep the right attitude and develop the beliefs in you and the system and here that you need. If you're not able to do that, then you will not make it, I promise you. But if you can, you're going to exceed this in the future. So let's just say you only had the one and you got these 5,000 points coming up, where you're going to make a $500 check every single solitary week times 52 weeks, or 26,000 per year. Could you use an extra 26,000 per year? Do you know, I'm going to share people all the time. What if it took you 5-10 years to do that? If you work in the 40-year plan or the 50 or 60-year plan, your Social Security will not pay you that much. I know, I did it. My Social Security doesn't even come close to that. And so, and you're accumulating wealth. You're not buying products that have expiration dates on them. You're buying a product that's worth something and it gains value. And quit complaining you can't get silver and gold bullion. Well, that's a market phenomenon right now. The first few years, we had no problem getting it from 7K, and it was the lowest price. Well, we got a market situation today. And I tell people all the time in my trainings, hey, look, you want silver and gold bullion? Yeah, buy it from the 5 majors, any one of them, get it cheaper. Bullion, none of us make any money off of that. But you don't want to buy any of your collecting products from anywhere else but your own business, because you get paid back handsomely by doing that. Now, let me show you, for people who've never succeeded in network marketing, or they've succeeded, but they've never made the big money. This is your opportunity for the first time in your life. Because see, I just gave you just you sponsoring one and how a network develops in time. And it will develop if you give it time. And I'll show you how you can only have one side, and how in my trainings, how you could sponsor a person who sponsors a person who sponsors a person, and you have one person. So let's get this racer going here, if I can get my eraser here. Well, see, it's got this chat going on here. There we go. If I can get my eraser, let's erase this side. Let's just say you never sponsored a person that side over here. Nothing happened over here. Let me show you what's going to happen. And that's what I like to show even prospects. Okay? Well, this side's going to grow. With you or without you, it's going to grow. And then you know what you're going to end up having? You're going to have a big old bank up here. And that's going to grow to 10,000, 5,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, 300,000. Let's put in 400,000. Let's say you did it for 2 years. That's $400,000 in commissions sitting there waiting on you to pull out. Now, if you're buying your coin every month, at the end of the first year, you're going to have 240 points. The second year, before the second year is over, you're going to get up to where you got about 460 points in there. Well, you hadn't sponsored anyone yet. Well, it's time to get your business family back. It's going to cost you $400. And you're going to sponsor your brother, your mother, your sister. You're going to put them in. You're going to pay for it. And you're going to put one of them down there. That's your right one. And you're going to get your first one there. That's your left one. And now you got one on your left, one on your right. 50 points will come up there. And you got 510 points. And you get a $500 check. Well, look, it didn't really cost you anything, did you? You come out $100 ahead. And you get 2 coins. And then they're going to zero this out. And this thing is growing again. And now you got 480,000 there in that side. But now you've kind of been in for a while, 2 years. You've learned some skills, attitudes. You're going to sponsor a person. Maybe they do something. Maybe they don't. Maybe they sponsor a person. Maybe they sponsor a person. Maybe they sponsor a person here. It doesn't matter who sponsors who. But let's say this person right here starts making a $250 check every week. 250. They got to have 250 on that side, 250 on this side. That's 500 points coming up there. 500. Hello. You've got one here and one here. Well, they hadn't been active. Well, buy a coin there and buy a coin there. They're active for another 30 days. You're accumulating wealth. And you got a $500 check. So basically your products are free and you got some net positive cash flow. But the next week they get another 250. Now you get a 500 coming up here. You got a $500 check. That's what's happening out there. That's why everybody ends up with a business family pack one way or the other. Okay. And so now when this person, any person down here starts making just a $500 check every week, that means they've got at least 500 points coming up on each side. That's 1,000 points coming up here now. And if you're just an associate, you're going to get a $500 check. And you probably learn how to become a copper. And we're there to show you. Okay, let's go to big point number 2, long range. Let's say, you're kind of decent. You've earned money in networking. You can sponsor 2 or 3 people and you can get this going. You get some sides going, but let's go long term. I want to show you something. You don't have to sponsor that big hitter. You don't have to sponsor a Todd Collins or an Andy or a Danny Clements or a Catherine Bass or a George Donaldson or Gary Goslin or Cheryl Toyofuku. I can go on and on. Okay. You don't have to sponsor one of them. All you need is, as your network is growing, and this whole side over here and this whole side over here is, let's say you have 4 people making a $250 check every month. Well, a $250 check means that they have to have 250 points on one side, 250 points on the other. So that's 500 points. So 4 times 500 equals 2,000. And they're making it every month. Well, divide that by 4. That's 500 points coming up on average every week. You can make 500. You don't have to have big hitters. All you have to do is have average, ordinary, everyday people making an above average check, which this company was designed for and this comp plan is designed for. And as long as we get that $250 check, that can be happening over and over and over again. And if we keep our eyes on the right ball, helping one another with the people they know. Now, let me just show you something. When you get 4 people making a $500 check every month, that's 1,000 points coming up on each side. That's 4,000 points. That's 1,000 points a week. You could be making 1,000 a week, like Bruce Harris, Idaho potato truck driver. Now, mentioning names because I want you to learn people's testimonies, because they didn't make the big bucks in the beginning. And so what happens, though, if 5 years from now or 6 years from now, you hanging around, you keep doing this just part-time, and you have 5 people making $500 every week in this network here. You didn't sponsor any of them, but they're making $500 a week. Do you know I got hundreds of that in my organization? I've been in for 5 years. Okay. That's 1,000 points for each one of them making a $500 check. They got to have 500 points on the left, 500 points on the right. So that is 1,000 points each week. That's 5,000 points just from those people, those 5 coming up this network to your counter, because it's infinity. 5,000 here, 5,000 here or more. Or if you got a big bank, you don't even have to have 5,000 coming. You don't even have to have 2 points coming up. Well, you got to have one active at least. Okay. But, you could earn $5,000 every week if you're a gold. But if you're just a silver, you're going to earn $3,500 a week. If you're a bronze, like Bruce, you're going to earn, he had those points, he had more of them, you're going to earn $2,000 a week, 6-figure income. How powerful is that? Look, we haven't even begun. We don't even have a goal in every city, every major city in the United States. We do not have a goal. We don't have a goal in a whole bunch of silvers. We got 82 more countries to open up. These people can be in the UK, in Ireland, in France, and Italy when we open there, in Taiwan, in Korea, in Japan when we open there, Malaysia, Germany, Norway, Sweden. The world is wide open. This is going to ping pong around the world. I hope this helps share the vision for you. And you don't have to have big hitters. You have to have vision and belief, and you have to do my job description. And you have to teach other people to do my job description. Those 7 pieces of paper. And if you don't duplicate it and you don't get that commitment, that's where I see organizations shrinking. Because it's not duplicating all the way down to that newest person just signed in 5 years later. There's magic to that system. That's why I don't charge for it. And I know it works. The reason I know it works is I've done it 3 times now. And I've always used the same system. And let's get to one more last point. And for the big picture for everyone, because every single person can just walk up these ranks if you do get that one good partner and then that next good partner, but you got to lock arms with them. You got to be that person that's there for them. You got to be that person that you're committed to them in helping build their groups and their organization, and you together are doing that. And I see it happening all throughout my organization. I see it happening in Hawaii. I see it happening in Todd Collins's group. He does it. I believe in the family. I see it happening in my own. I see it happening in Danny and Tiffany's business. And they've definitely been very part-time in doing this. I see it happening, in Delton's and Cindy Kaysen's business. I see it happening in George Donaldson's business. I see it happen in Woodrow Venable's business. I see it happen in every group that we brought in, new groups that we brought out. See it in Kim and Prentice Wiley. They haven't even been in a full year yet, I don't think. That she came in and got that contest. And so, you will have people that will come into your business like I did, that when you or build up and you can help other people achieve what you achieved or help them understand the picture and paint it. And remember, we're all a team together in our group. So I hope what I shared with you here tonight will give you an insight that everyone can achieve in this comp plan, and it just takes learning. I'm going to end this with one quick example, because I asked you to do 2 years to learn. You get to earn while you learn. You get to accumulate wealth, and you're developing a base or foundation for residual income. Then 3 to 5 years to build a big business. And we got to do that in anything we do in life. But let's do some analogies. It took me 5 years to get a chemical engineering degree. And I went in to hawk up to my ears, paying for tuition, books, expenses to go to school, and then 2 years to get a master's in business administration. So 7 years of school before I stepped out and started working. And I wasn't offered a 6-figure income job when I stepped out. I had to go prove that I could do what I learned and give a return. And that's what we all have to do. So here, it's 2 years to learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques. And yes, it is what you say. It is how you say it. And I teach you those things through all my videos. And so does Zach in our, what I call, the company gives great basic training in networking, but it's basic training. I give you the master's training. And it's up to you. It's incumbent on you to learn it. I put them all in a can now. I've got them all organized on a band app, and they're going to even get better organized. And many leaders are taking over their own band land, like Todd Collins and Danny. And we're going to have more leaders take over their band and start separate some of our bands, the way we train. So everybody can start the same way, everybody can learn the same way, and everybody can duplicate better and faster together. As a team, we will achieve a lot more. That's what teamwork is. The analogy I picked up from another great networker, very successful organization, over 300,000. Y'all all know him, Scott Fidulis. He does the 7K health insurance, and I will give a special training on 7K health insurance. It's changed, it's powerful. But everybody take out your pencil and paper yourself. Okay, let's do some numbers together. Okay, in our heads. Okay, let's say you're doing the program, you're learning, you're earning while you learn, you signed up, and you got a sponsor, you've hooked up, you're doing this, and you got to look in the mirror. Only the person in the mirror is the only one that really counts, that you get up and look at every day. Okay, I didn't depend on anybody to help me build my business. Okay, and that's the way you need to really go after this. Even though you are going to get help, you are going to get gifts from above, you are going to get gifts from below. That's just part and parcel of the way this program works. Now, let's compare it to a 4-year college education. And it takes about what, $50,000 a semester, tuition, books, to go to average college now, today. Okay. And 4-year curriculum, right? Mm-hmm. Well, let's say just $50,000 a year. Let's really get it lower. A year for 9 months, 2 semesters or quarters, or whatever you want to call it. $50,000 a year. So the first year you're going to college, you're spending, at least like a 35-hour, 40-hour work week going to class and doing your homework assignment if you want to pass your class. Okay, so it's almost like a 40-hour work week, but you're $50,000 in debt. Here, you're putting about 5 to 10 hours into this, and I say 10 is better. The more, the better, but you fit it in. And you're learning, you're watching a video every day, 5 days out of 7. And you're also sponsoring, you're sharing, you're learning how to share, pique people's interest. You're doing those 5 peaks a day. Okay, we're going to come to these numbers in a minute, but always remember the 5 a day. Okay, and so let's say you get up and you average $250, and you don't average every week that first year. You only do it for 9 months. Okay, 250 a week. And you do it for 9 months. And let's just do easy math. That'd be about $1,000 a month. That'd be $9,000 you earn that first year, right? And you're out 50,000 going to college. Okay, the next year you rank up, you're an associate, you made that 250, but the next year you rank up to copper. And let's say you're earning an average of 1,000 for 9 months. Okay, not every week, just for your 9 months. Okay, so that's 4,000 a week times 9 months is 36,000. So far, you add our numbers, 250 that first time, 9,000 and 36,000 is 45,000 you got. And the only thing you bind is your coin and your membership renewal, and that's all anybody else is doing. And so, but in college, you're out 100 grand. You're in debt 100 grand, and all you did is learn. Okay. Now, the third year, let's say you rank up to bronze. Now, we're only doing the 9 months, so it takes time to get and build that up. So that's when we're doing the average. Okay. So you're in your 7K, you get to 2,000. And now you've got, when you get to bronze and you got a little network and you are doing it. So let's do the whole 12, but 52 weeks at 2,000. And let's round it down a little bit so we can have a few, that's 100 grand in your third year. And you're 150,000 in debt going to college. Well, 150 plus your 45 is 195,000 you earn in those first 3 years. And let's say, you didn't quite make it to silver yet, but you got a solid 100 grand in that fourth year, and you're right on the verge of that silver. And so you make another 100 grand, and you're 245 grand in 4 years. But you're positive, and you're looking to start that fifth year to get that $3,500 check a week. And that $3,500 check times that 52 weeks. So let's do the math the way I do it. 3,000 times 50 is 150,000. And then 2 times that is 7, right? The other two weeks times the 3,500 is, well, actually you got 50 times 3,500 is 175 plus the 2 times it plus the 7 is 182. Okay, 182,000. And your fourth year in college, you're 200,000 in debt, and you're lucky if you get a job starting out at $50,000, $60,000 a year. What's the best alternative? Be in your own business. Oh, go ahead and get an education, but do this too. Young people need to be doing this. Young people need to be taught how to be entrepreneurs, not how to go to work for someone else and help them get rich off their backs. We're going to have a lot of more analogies and examples like this over this next year, but start using these type of comparisons. And I know that college education comparison just that sunk into me real well when I heard Scott give that. I said, man, I say the same thing, but I didn't put the numbers to it. The numbers mean everything, okay? Because I say 2 years to learn. You get to earn while you learn. You get to accumulate wealth. And then 3 to 5 years to build a big business. And so you can't lose a lot in this unless you don't do it. And that's what we want to communicate to your future partners on your left and your right, and build your team. I hope you see what I see. I hope you understand what I'm trying to share with you, because you're going to take it to the moon. You are going to be part of this future growth for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. This company will be a monster. It will be a global giant. And the more we start understanding that $4.2 billion numismatic world that Stack and Sell is going to open up to us and bring to us, I just can't communicate to you how big a market opportunity this is. But I hope you see it. Thank you. And may I see you and your family build a legacy like has never been built before in the past in this industry with this new company, Member Direct Marketing, in changing the network marketing space. Thank you.